Hi, and welcome to Dramatic Knits. My name is Steve, also known as Dramatic Knits.
And I'm Callie, also known as Calsters.
This is Corn Dog, also known as Cornelius.
And this is Ernest.
Also known as Ernie.
Or Ernesto.
And we thought we would have them join us for the introduction because they're super adorbs, because they got all groomed this week. So you can actually see their faces and they don't look like homeless dogs. Stop biting my finger. Anyway, this is episode 206, and it is Sunday, April 12th, 2015. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming back one more week. And if you're new, hopefully you don't think that I raise wild dogs that bite on us, because they don't. I just put lotion on my hands, and I think he's like, nom, 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 nom.
Delicious I am. Ernie's over here like, what's going on?
Anyway, so, what's going on? What's been going on this week? Not a whole lot on our part. We didn't go to knit night this week. My lady man had the evening off, so we decided to stay home and, well, work on dyeing stuff up. That's pretty much been our whole week. It's been YarnCon prep. And, like I said, the dogs got groomed on Friday, but that was probably the biggest event of the week. Taught all week. It was a long week, but it is what it is. So next week I only have 4 days. The kids have off Friday, but we don't. But I actually have to take Friday off for YarnCon. So darn, I'm gonna miss a Teacher Institute day, full day of meetings. So that's been my lovely weekend or week in review.
My week has been kind of busy. I'm sorry for all of those of you that are listening with headphones if I sniffle. It's because I'm sick. Monday was a pretty normal day. Tuesday was a normal day. Wednesday, I had to work late, and then my coworker and we drove to Fort Wayne, Indiana to go to the Vera Bradley outlet sale on Thursday. We got checked in pretty early on Thursday morning, about like 2:30 Fort Wayne time. We're an hour behind them. So it wasn't too late by, like our time per se, but it was still late. Got up, went to the sale. It was good. Drove back, and we didn't get hit by the storm, which was really good, because it was supposed to lean, like, if this is Indiana, or excuse me, if this is Illinois, it was supposed to lean towards Indiana, but it didn't. It actually got hit by one of my other coworkers, her hometown, so that was really devastating for her friends and family up there because they lost their home and their farm. So hopefully things will start on the path of recovery, and just had a leaping dog in my lap. And then I got really sick the Thursday that we got in, because that was the first time that I had stayed in a hotel for like almost 2 years. And so I got really sick on Thursday, but I got worse on Friday, and then yesterday was pretty horrible, because yesterday I was supposed to have a full day at work on a Saturday, and one of my educators looked at me and said, "Please go home because you look like death." And so that was pretty big, because I was running a fever, and I know I should have stayed home from work, but it was a really large work event, and for her to send me home says something. So, anywho, hopefully starting to feel better a little bit today, and then be ready for next week.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's been my week in review.
Alright, so let's get to the knitting. What's taking a bow this week? I got nothing once again.
I have something.
Kelly's just been banging out the projects lately.
I have.
Trying to make me look bad or something.
Oh, this is all the time, for all the times that I've slacked. I finished my all of the light boomerang and chicken in the woods brown pumpkin fleck, and I knit this on a size 6 US 4.0 millimeter.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really good. It's really cushy, and it's really soft. I haven't washed or blocked it yet because, really, quite frankly, it's a boomerang.
And it's garter stitch.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can make it grow, but it's a decent enough size.
Yeah, so I'll probably just wash it. I don't know if I'm keeping this for myself or if I'm gifting it, but I'll at least wash it for whenever that time is that I make that decision.
I think it would look really good with your outfit you're wearing today.
That's what I thought. That's why I wore this, so we can take finished object pictures. Always thinking ahead.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
How are you like a case of water?
Is that all you have finished?
Yes.
Still better than me. So, what is performing this week? The first thing for me is the Nora's sweater by Pam Powers. I'm using local alpaca millspun, worsted weight, dyed in our royalty colorway on size 8 US 5mm. And I started working on it after recording last week, and wouldn't you know, I was very close to being done. I had like 4 more rows to go to finish off the decreases.
Oh.
You can see the dicky-do. I had 4 more rows to go, and then it was like, okay, knit, without decreasing till it's this many inches. Well, I was already there. I was right spot on. So I was like, well, that worked out well. So then I had to do a couple rows of 2x2 ribbing and bind off. So, again, it'll kind of look like that, when it's folded over. So, I had to wind the last 2 ginormous worsted weight skeins. These are 300-yard skeins. Yesterday, and I cast on and got a whopping 4 rows done. So, and they're much longer now that I'm back up to an original. The nice thing is the chart says, now do the same thing as the left, but follow the right chart. And for this particular size, it's exactly the same as the left. So that makes it a little bit easier. But, slow going. It is what it is. The second thing is the Though She Be But Little, She Is Fierce Shawlette by Rena Barsakis. I'm using a riot of color, 80/20 superfine alpaca silk in the Midnight Rendezvous colorway on size, I do not know, 3 US, 3.25mm. Calls for a light fingering weight. I'm using worsted. It originally called for it at 2.5, and I'm using a 3. Like I said, it's a little bit denser than I probably would have originally liked, but it's fine. I just joined in the second ball last night while watching a movie. So as you can see here, it's got 2 single eyelets, and then it goes into this mesh section, and I barely started the 3rd repeat, and I've got to go to 8. So the rows are taking really long, and watching a complete movie last night, it took me the whole movie took me 4 rows. So, not used to shawls and growing rows. I haven't done one in a while, so. But I'm really liking the way the color's playing out. Still thinking of who I could possibly gift it to. Who the color and it being alpaca, who that would be the right person to gift it to. So. The third thing I'm working on are the Boyhood socks out of Leading Men Fiber Arts Showstopper color, base in the Boyhood colorway, and I'm using size 1.5 US 2.5mm. I'm doing a 2x2 ribbed. I'm to 60 rounds down the leg. I've got 20 more to go before I start the heel flap. You can see from the dicky-do where I was last week. So I got a little bit of work done on it, but not much. So. Last thing is the Velvet Elvis boomerang, using Gale's Art Sinful Base in the Velvet Elvis colorway on size 6 US 4mm. And again, I'm doing a coin flip on my phone. If it is a heads, I do a stockinette row. If it is tails, I'm doing garter. And I have about that much left on the yarn, so still quite a ways to go, but it's getting smaller.
How many rows are you doing of each when you do the coin flip?
Just 1. So if it's heads, I'll knit and then purl back. If it's garter, I'll knit and then knit back. So, as you can see from the dicky-do, and it's curling a little bit. I didn't get that much done on it, but a little bit. And I don't know if you can really see. Oh, there we go. There's the texture of it. So it just kind of plays with the colors a little bit more. These are very short color repeats, as you can see there. So it's good for not pooling and whatnot.
Cool.
And that's all that I'm working on this week.
Since finishing my boomerang, I only have one active works in progress, and that is the Balsam Hollow shawl knit by me, patterned by Paula Emmons Beasley, also Knitting Pipeline. So this is where I'm at. The Dicky Doo is not representative of where I was. I think I was down about here last week, so I've gotten quite a bit done. And I'm about 25 rows off before I start the real lace pattern. Like, not that there's a fake lace pattern, but getting into the lace border. So I'm looking forward to that. It's been a pretty easy knit thus far, and I've looked ahead, and I think it seems manageable for me. And if not, Paula is wonderful and is everywhere. So
She's in Atlanta right now for her other spring retreat.
I saw that.
And she's working on some Show Stealer socks in the Anne Story colorway.
Yep.
So, what's in rehearsal? I got nothing. I've got enough on my plate. Actually, that's a lie. I'm going to start another boomerang, only because I have YarnCon coming up. And while I could probably work on socks, and they are portable, getting to the heel flap, and what if I finish them? Like, that's what I'm worried about. Well, then I don't want to bring another project that, I want to be knitting on my yarn while I'm in my booth. So I was like, I'll just start a boomerang, because I won't finish that over the weekend. So that's what's in rehearsal for me.
Part of the thing that... sorry. So yesterday when I came, after I was sent home from work, I was sitting in our living room, trying not to die. And that was very nonchalant, but it was trying not to die. And my dad comes in, and the thing you need to know about my dad is that he's a competitive mower. So, like, this is an unsaid...
Lawnmower.
Yes. This is a unsaid rule among the, 4 houses in our, strip of block, if you will. And, so he was like, well, I beat everyone. And I was like, okay. And, but he was like, funny thing happened. And, well, I'll let you look. So this is my Instagram page. Oops. On this side, this is when I gave Dad the hat for Christmas. This, on the other side, is when Dad ran over the hat with the lawnmower. Yep, that's right. It was too cold in the morning, so he had his jacket on with his hat on, mowing, and then got too hot, so he took the hat off, put it in his pocket, and started, back up mowing. And apparently the hat fell, and unbeknownst to Dad, he didn't know it fell, and he ran over it by accident. Enough so that it stopped the mower, it got too caught up in the mowing deck. And when he took the mower deck off of the mower, this is all, of course, safely taken off after the mower has been shut off. Just want to say that my dad was just not putting his hands up at the mower deck. He realized that the hat was no longer in his pocket, and I said, you didn't see it when you ran over it? What were you doing?
It was green on grass. But still, I'm not justifying it.
So he asked for a new one, and I said, this is why we can't have nice things in this house. Because Dad wants me to knit him a sweater. I said, he casually mentioned that after he asked for a new hat. And I said, well, I gave you a hat and it hasn't even been 4 months. And you want me to knit you a sweater before you destroy it? He was like, I'll take what I get, I guess. So I've got a new hat to make, but I'm not totally in a rush to make it.
Well, and it's getting warm enough, he shouldn't need it. So.
Yeah.
You know what you're getting next Christmas.
If he's lucky. So, that's all I have in rehearsal.
Cool. Behind the scenes, I am still spinning the Yarn Geek Fibers BFL in the 1st of May colorway. I started plying this morning, And so I don't have it to show you. I'm doing a 2-ply fractal spin on it. My hope is to get it done and washed and prepped so that I could take it as another skein of hand spun to YarnCon. But I will try to at least take pictures to put on Instagram and whatnot in case it does sell and you don't get to see it. But, you know, my hand spun never really goes over all that great at shows, so it'll probably come back with us, and then I'll be able to show you and put it in the shop. So, but it's coming out fairly thin, so I'm enjoying it.
Cool.
In the spotlight, what am I watching and reading? Last night, my leading man and I decided to actually sit down and watch a movie. A lot of times we best laid plans, right? But then we both don't actually end up spending time in the same room. But we watched Neighbors, which stars Seth Rogen and Zac Efron.
Not in theaters.
It was all right. It took me a little bit to get into, but then it was kind of, I mean, there were some funny parts. But it's definitely not one of my favorites or go-tos or anything like that, but it was okay. I did catch up on Bates Motel and The Following. Those were good. I'm still watching The Killing. Story keeps getting more and more interesting. So I'm almost done with season 1. I think I have one more episode to go on that. And I'm still listening to Strangers by Dean Koontz. I have about little over 2 hours left. So it's kind of coming to its climax, soon-ish. So that's what I'm watching and reading.
Cool. I haven't been reading anything of interest. And I haven't been watching anything really of interest because I've been so busy this week. As far as listening to new things, I listen to, I don't know if it's still available, but I like to listen to You Hear It First First Play on iTunes. If you go into your iTunes account or your music app on your phone, you can get to the iTunes radio. And they had Reba McEntire's new CD that's coming out, I believe, this week on Tuesday. So I was listening to that, and I love Reba, don't get me wrong, but I think that this one is a whole new step in a direction of Reba that I'm not necessarily a huge fan of. I like my classic Reba, but that's not to say that she's not going to have new followers and that she's not following trend of country music. It's just not necessarily something that I would buy the CD for. I might buy a couple of songs off of it, but that's about it. So that's kind of my review of it and all that I've been listening to.
So stash enhancement this week. I don't have any. And I don't think Kelly does.
I don't.
But we were sitting downstairs and I was having oatmeal for lunch because that's how I roll in this house. I'm too lazy to cook and oatmeal takes 2 minutes. And she's like, so do you have any stash that I should know about before you shock me on the show? And I was like, no, I haven't. She's like, did you order anything? I'm like, what's with the 20 questions? But no, I've been good. I've got YarnCon coming up. YarnCon. And hopefully I can be good there. I really don't need to get anything, and Andy will be there to give me the eyes, when I'm talking the eyes. So we do have a book review for you this week, and it's the second book that I purchased because I have the first one, and I wanted this one as well. And I would say there's probably about the same amount of patterns that I like in it as the first one. Not all of them are go-tos for me, but most of them I can see. And then the reason why I wanted this book is because we all have those skeins of sock yarn, right? And we're like, we're going to knit socks. But then how many? You can't knit all those socks. Excuse me. So I purchased sock
yarn shawls too.
By Jen Lucas, 16 patterns for lace knitting. So, and I've reviewed the first one of these before. It looks like this. As you can see, it retails for $24.99 or $27.99 in Canada, put out through Martingale. And I did not pay that much. I got this through Amazon, eBay, what's the one that everybody buys books through? Anyway, Amazon. Pretty sure. So, We picked out a few patterns we particularly liked or thought would be of interest to you guys. Again, they're not they're not all the patterns in the book. Sorry, brain fart. This is not a learn to knit book any means. It's just the patterns for the most part. There's an introduction and there's a section on choosing the right yarn, and they talk about alternating skeins a little bit, and they show some pictures of that. And then using and moving stitch markers and lace, and there's a photo tutorial of specialty stitches and useful information on yarn weights and things like that, and needle sizes in the back. But that's it. It's not really teaching you how to do anything. So the first pattern I picked was Juniper, and it starts off with small shawls, mid-size, and then large. And I don't think I actually chose anything from large because I think they were all semicircular or circular, which I'm not a huge fan of. So this is Juniper. The Juniper shawl is crescent-shaped, knit from the lace edge and worked upward to the neck edge. Short rows in the stockinette body of the shawl create a curved shape, and it calls for 1 skein of BFL sock from Huckleberry Knits. So
I really like the rich color of this yarn.
yeah, that red is very, very pretty.
It shows the pattern off really well too. It doesn't detract from it.
The next one we liked is the Zuzu, and it's a reversible kerchief style shawlette. Oh, funny. Why would I like that? Perfect for the knitter looking for an easy, quick knit. It starts at the bottom and is worked upward with easy short rows added to give the kerchief a little shape and drape. Calls for 1 skein of Breathless from Shalimar Yarns in the color Primula. So it's kind of... Oh, I can't see. Oh, okay. So it's like an open work mesh at the bottom and goes into, I believe, garter at the top. And you can kind of see the shape there. So there are plenty of pictures in this book. For example, this particular pattern has 5 pictures. There's a full page beauty shot, which I love, not just half a page or whatnot. And then there's 2 decent size, and they do have close-ups, so you can see for that particular stitch. So the next one is Waveland. This shawl starts at the top center and is worked outward in garter stitch. After the body of the shawl is complete, additional stitches are cast on to work the lace border perpendicularly to the bottom. A funny quick knit. Calls for 1 skein of Entice MCN from Hazel Knits. And so you can see, again, the kind of the kerchief style. And again, close up of the lace. But they do model it not on a model for every shawl, so you can kind of see the shape of it and how it's going to lay out. Then we get into mid-size shawls. Farming truck. Welcome to Central Illinois. The next one is Sparrow. Start with a circular pie shawl construction and then transition into increases, typically seen in triangular shawls. The combination creates a shawl that will drape beautifully over the shoulders. So this kind of almost has like raglan shaping. So it's increases at the 1/4 and 3/4 mark rather than down the spine. And it calls for 2 skeins of Entice MCN and Hazel Knits in the color Lichen. So there's the beauty shot. And you can kind of see the drape there. And then, I can't see. Am I showing it?
Yeah.
Thank you. So you can see kind of the raglan shaping.
I'm trying to watch how Steve moves because Ernie's curled up underneath the chair.
Oh. I don't move the chair. I'm too fat. I weigh the chair down so it can't move. Trust me, it's quite comical to watch me try to roll this chair, especially on carpet. The next one I thought was pretty interesting. I think more the yarn drew my attention rather than the pattern, but the pattern is still very nice. It would be some really long rows there at the end, but this is Starlit. This bottom-up short row shawl features tree-like lace at the edge that flows into the stockinette body. Try this shawl in a gradient yarn, and it just might look like the northern lights bouncing off the night sky. So this calls for one skein of Muse from Twisted Fiber Arc, which is a 50/50 silk merino, 660 yards in the colorway Phantom. So like that one a lot. Mostly the yarn, like I said. But again, you're always getting these beautiful in close-up pictures, and the charts are not all that small, so they're nice. They're big enough to work off of. They're not magazine charts by any means. And then I liked Flow. Here's another short row shawl with a twist. The border is worked sideways, with stitches for the body of the shawl being added along the side of the border as you go with wraps and turns. A fun new way to work a lace border. And this calls for caper sock from String Theory hand dyed. One skein of each. They use Bruna and Agave. And I really, again, I liked the colors. It drew me in. I can't tell if there's a glare. Is it good? But definitely you can see the nice, with the two colors, the nice contrast between the basic body and the lace. I think it really does make that lace pop. And then the last one is the cover photo of the book, and it is called Lycopod. A delicate top-down triangle shawl, Lycopod is the perfect warm weather piece. It can easily be made larger or smaller depending on the knitter's mood. Calls for 2 skeins of Tosh sock by Madeline Tosh in the colorway Cousteau. I fell in love with the color, but it's also a very, very nice piece. And what I like too is that their beauty shot is not the same as the cover, so you're getting an additional look at it. So, very, very pretty. Oh, sorry. Hopefully they've been really good actually while we've been recording. Hopefully they will remain. So that's all that we wanted to show you. There's a couple more in the larger section.
I really like this one.
Okay. She didn't tell me to bookmark it, but
I probably was looking down.
But this is daylily leaf motifs and feather and fan come together to make this stunning circular pie shawl. This project is great as either a shawl or a baby blanket. It calls for 5 balls of Capretta from Knit Pick, so you would make it in a cheaper yarn so that it would be an affordable project. In the color Hunter.
I really like it because I think it looks like one of those like Hitafudes without the sleeves. But you know, if you didn't want to make the sleeves, it's long enough that you could wear it like a Hitafude or Hitafude if you're windy.
Yeah, it's very pretty, but it definitely has sections, and it's not nearly as intricate as say Even Star.
Yeah.
It's a little more smaller repeat, same thing kind of going. So I think it would be if you like that kind of shape and that general aesthetic, but you know you don't want to be adding the beads and all that fun stuff. This would be.
Well, I'm sure you could add beads if you wanted to.
Right, but it doesn't necessarily call for it.
Yeah.
So, and then there was a few other shawls, and like I said, the stuff in the back. This is the author, Jen Lucas. So, and yeah, so like I said, I think these are good to have on hand because you know we all have those skeins. But I know a lot of people are lacking in the skeins of semi-solids too. So you can always check out Leading Men Fiber. It's just saying. We don't shy away from the semi-solids or the variegators. So that's our book review for you this week. Definitely check it out. Excuse me. Alright, a round of applause. We wanted to talk about our lace knit along, and I'll let Callie take that.
So, our lace knit along started on April 1. Your project must have been started on April 1 or after for it to count. We're doing the cow from April, May, and we'll finish on June 30th. That's when the the thread will close for finished objects, as well as the chatter thread will remain open. But just know that the finished object thread will be closed. The following time that we record, we'll announce the winners, and it can be any type of lace. It can be, it could have like just one section of lace. It could be a headband. It could be a bookmark. It could be the Even Star. It could be, Piper's Journey by the wonderful Paula.
Hitafude.
The Hitafude or Hitafude. It can be whatever you want it to be. I think the first post that we had, someone had knit a dress, and it's not all lace. There's a strip of lace, so that counts. It doesn't have to be intimidating lace. It can be beginner lace. We'd even take the Age of Brass and Steam, which is not necessarily totally lace, but there is lace elements to it.
There's yarn overs and knit two togethers.
Yep. So really, it's free game, and it can be any base of yarn that you want. It doesn't have to be lace base. It could be socks. It could be shawls.
It could be bulky.
Yeah.
I think Amy Beth just did a lace bulky shawl.
Mm-hmm. You can make socks. You can make shawls. You can make whatever you want it to be. It's one of those things that this is my 10th year knitting that I've not really conquered lace. So I said that's a challenge that I want to attempt this year. Same way with color work. I had never done color work, so I wanted to do that. Lace is my next thing. So, just take it baby steps, or take, giant leaps over mountains, whatever you want to do. I mean,
that's what Callie's going to do, because after she finishes the Balsam Hollow, she's probably going to do the Daylily out of this book. She likes it so much.
I do, actually. I don't know if it's quite my next project, because I'm thinking about doing the, I'm going to say no. I do really like that, though. I like the finished object.
I actually won't have it in my queue to make for my sister or my mom.
Or Callie.
You can knit your own. You're capable.
Anywho. But, I do intend to make one obligation baby blanket, but there's a lace baby blanket that I'm going to make because it's summery, and the baby's no longer a baby that could suffocate from the lace. Like if they put not suffocate, but like if they put their little hands and fingers in it, it won't cut off circulation. Mm-hmm. For my friend Emma's daughter, Calliope, who's basically my pseudo niece. But it's funny because Emma's now watching a newborn, and so they're reusing my blanket that I made for Calliope for the newborn. And, it's not his blanket, but they're using it when she watches them and stuff. And it's really cute because now I'm getting this new wave of newborn pictures in that same blanket. So, if you show me that on a regular basis, I'm probably going to knit for you again. So, I plan on it's the lace from the February Lady sweater. It's that lace blanket. I can't think of the name of it right away. I think it's something to do with Pines, or it's published by something Pines. Regardless. So that'll probably be my next lace project, because I'm going to knit it with some stash yarn that I acquired from SSK last year. So,
nice.
Anywho, all of that's to say is we have wonderful prizes, and
for every 50 entries we get.
Yep, we get another prize, or there will be another prize from either Steve or myself, donated into the prize pool. So we hope you join us. I mean, we've made it pretty loosey. Yeah, I was going to say loosey-goosey, but with some rules. So if you have any questions, just post them in the thread or PM us, and we'll address them.
And don't forget, if you use any base of Leading Wind Fiber Arts, you get 2 entries into the drawing.
Yep.
We do have a contest to announce this week that will go very nicely with our Lace Knit Along. Mm-hmm. During our Rescanning extravaganza this week, while prepping for YarnCon, we had an issue with the skein of Soliloquy. Yes, our BFL bases are back in stock. Soliloquy is back, and Spotlight is back, and we're very excited to have them back. But anyway, I was rescanning one, and the yarn was not breaking. There was, like, cuts in the yarn, and it wasn't me the way I cut it. I don't know. It's one of those random mysteries. Anyway, I had to put 3 knots in it, and because of 3 knots, I know that's yarn industry standards. Those are not our standards. I did not want to put it up in the shop. Normally, I would keep the skein for myself to knit as a shop sample, but the colorway I've already knit with, and I have a shop sample out of it. So I decided that, and actually Andy decided, he was like, give it away on the podcast. I was like, okay. So I thought about using it as a prize for the lace knit along, but I thought, no, let's have a contest this week. And it's going to run for 2 weeks because we will not be recording next week due to YarnCon. I will be gone from Friday through late Sunday, and then I got to go back to work on Monday. So
and I've got a 3-year-old birthday party to attend. Hopefully not with this voice.
And you were thinking about coming to YarnCon.
Yeah, it actually works out because my friend that I'm going to be staying with, her goddaughter, it's the birthday party. We're all friends. It's cool. Anywho, a mutual friend of ours is flying in from Idaho with her boyfriend. So my bestie Sarah and her husband Joe and I are going to meet him for brunch downtown. So I said, can we stop at YarnCon? And she was like, I don't think it should be a problem because they want to have deep dish pizza, so it's really more of a lunch. It's not really more of a brunch. And I was like the way you think.
Well, anyway, so you're going to have 2 weeks to enter for this drawing because we won't be recording next week. So we have a skein of Soliloquy, which is 657 yards of 100% superwash British BFL in the colorway Eternal Kiss. And that color's coming out pretty good.
That's really pretty.
So I've already knit the upstairs-downstairs cowl out of our sport weight in Eternal Kiss, so I was like, I don't need another skein of Eternal Kiss. I'll let you all have it. Mm-hmm. So we thought, if you won this, it would probably be towards the end of April that you would receive it, but you would still have 2 months in order to knit something with this. So, and this is like our go-to shawl-length skeins. So you get 150 grams, 657 yards. You could do some beautiful lace work out of this. It holds stitch definition just beautifully, and all that stuff. So all you have to do to enter is tell us what colorway of Leading Men Fiber Arts you like the most, and in the thread I will have linked the to the shop, and then it'll take you to the colorway page, and you can scroll all the way through it. There's a lot to look at. I will also put a direct link to the Google Doc in case when our shop is closed, Thursday through Monday probably, for YarnCon. In case you want to enter then, I'll put a direct link to the Google Doc as well. So, 2 weeks to enter. You must be a member of the group in order to be eligible to win. All you have to do is tell us what colorway of Leading Men Fiber Arts you like the most. If you cannot narrow it down, maybe give us the top 5. And then this could be yours. So only 1 entry per person, please. And we will close the thread before we record on, let's check the date, probably the 26th. We seem to be on a Sunday schedule, so probably the 26th of April. All right. We want to tell you as well to enter all your finished objects, no matter what they are, for this month into the April 2015 Race to the Finished Object contest. We have 2 wonderful prizes. The first being a medium-sized bag from the Silver Shed USA. It's a Dramatic Knits project bag, which makes it even better. And the second is a pattern from our featured designer, who is Lucia Payne, hostess of the Pearl of the Pacific podcast. And she has 3 wonderful patterns, soon to be 4, all coming out. All featuring Leading Men Fiber Arts, so that's awesome. And I think she'll be at YarnCon as well, maybe bringing us some of her originals for our shop, or for our booth. So that'll be exciting as well. I think that's it for regularly scheduled stuff. So we're going to go into Center Stage, all things Leading Men Fiber Arts. If you are not interested, we'll see you in 2 weeks. If you're within driving distance of Chicago, come on out to YarnCon. Saturday's going to be the pretty busy hopping day. Sunday's pretty busy as well. But if you would like to meet both of us, you can come early on Sunday. I believe the first 25 or 50, I think it's 25 each day, people to get there, and there's no fee to get in. Get a free goodie bag with, I know there's going to be a scanning yarn in there. So
I may not be there as early, but I will try to be there closer to opening. It just kind of depends on the train schedule into town from where Sarah lives.
And I think I should probably check this, just in case you guys are wondering. So if you're not interested in not coming to YarnCon, we'll see you next week. But I would like to know what the hours are exactly. I think it's 10 to 5 on Saturday. And I can't remember if it's 10 or 11 on Sunday. 10 to 5 on Saturday and 10 to 3 on Sunday. So, and it's a beautiful, beautiful building. And we have a nice little corner spot. It's, what booth are we in? We're last on the booth pages. Now I want to give you all the information. It is free parking as well. That's excellent for downtown Chicago. And I know last year they had like an ATM, mobile ATM outside. Yep. So awesome. We are in booth 48. We're all the way in the corner. Right when you come in, we're going to be immediately to your left. So I tried to get some prime real estate because I'm a returning vendor. I had a little bit of say before new vendors. I didn't get the right there, right when you walk in booth, which is kind of what I wanted. But we're all the way off in the corner, and we are 2 booths down from Sun Valley Fibers, and we are right across from Jelby and Wool Pierogi. They have their same location as last year, so we're going to be, I'm sure, bantering all weekend because they're both lovely, lovely ladies and very, very funny.
Fierce.
I look for a lot of Instagram photos. Okay, so anyway, let me show you. I have no idea what just happened there. Anyway, let me show you what we added to the shop. There's a good deal of stuff to be... See, moved? Yep. There's a good deal of stuff to be updated. Honestly, we are very close to max capacity in the shop, so Andy was telling me last night at dinner, because we've been eating like our kitchen's been being renovated, even though it's not, almost every day we've been eating out. And so, just because we're busy dying and we're tired and whatnot, what have you. So, anyway, he was telling me, he's like, just do one big update, fill up the shop, and then we can put everything, start packing it up or whatever. I was like, meh. So, I've been updating regularly this week, and a lot of soliloquy because we've been dying it up a storm because we've been waiting for 6 months to get it in.
Again, would be perfect for our lace cow.
Or our lace weight. We have lots of decent amount of lace weight. So anyway, again, soliloquy. We talked about 657 yards, 100% superwash BFL, 150 grams. We have Fox Says What? And most of these we have sweaters worth of because we dyed 4 skeins. We're dyeing 4 of everything to have a little bit more in quantity for the show, which we might continue to just do. But definitely with the soliloquy fingering weight sweater, that is what, about 2,600 yards if you get all 4. So I'm sure you can knit a very nice sweater. This is Dirty Truce. The original Leaves of Change shawl was knit out of that by Jenna Krupar. We have some blue steel. We have some Man of Mystery, and I'm just drooling over this one. We have Foliage on Soliloquy. I knit a boomerang out of that, and it's a ginormous boomerang, and I'll probably be wearing it at YarnCon one of the days. We have Prom Queen. I only did 2 of these up. Whoa!
It's not that bright.
It's bright. It's bright, but it's not
glow.
Yeah, it's not glowing. But that is, I love how the camera does that. So that's Prom Queen. We also have some London Fog. I think Callie's got a skein of this.
I do, because you gave it to me for my birthday.
I did. So, she could do a lace shawl out of that. Okay. Ugh, love this red. Poison Apple. It's coming out a little more orange on screen. That's more true to color. This is all soliloquy, by the way. And as I showed earlier, we have Eternal Kiss. There's only 3 of those because the one incident. Is that it? We have Copper Cloud on soliloquy. It's a new favorite. Everybody's raving about it. There is Drama Queen. Is that it on soliloquy? I think so. I think that's it on soliloquy. So, on Show Stealer, we have some industrial. Box Office, we have some perfection. Showcase, we have some Beanstalk. Show Stealer, we have Let's Hear It for the Girls with 3 L's. Show Stealer, we have some Anne's Story. Showcase, we have some Ain't My First Rodeo, and I think we have it up in stock as well. Dramaturg, or DK weight, we have 911 Butterfly. And if you see us at a show, ask us what the reference is. I'll tell you the story. I won't waste the time. I think we've already talked about it on the show, but people a lot of times will pick it up and they'll look at the name and be like, what does this mean? Showcase, we also have Blue Steel on Showcase. And last but not least, there was one more soliloquy. We have Sandcastle. Kelly's starting to, I think she's testing herself.
I am.
She's got to get the bases down. She's got the colorways pretty good.
It's hard because y'all tested me if you went to the Knitting Pipeline retreat because I was booth bait, but I also needed to know the bases, which was a little bit of a struggle, not going to lie.
Well, and it was also a struggle because we had multiple bases in one bin, and trying to know what bin is what from she was behind the table was a little bit harder, but she'll be helping me at Zombie Apocalypse, so it'll be a little bit easier. But, you know, Andy will be there. All 3 of us will be a magical trifecta of awesomeness. And his mom's coming again. It's like our yearly vacation. And we got a suite for his mom and I, and Callie's hopefully pretty close. If not, she can straggle over. But there's a nice, like, living room area between our 2 bedrooms with his mom and us. So Callie and I will be driving up to ZK together, and Andy will go pick up his mom in Indiana and go over, which will be nice because we don't have to meet up, you know, and we can take our leisurely time, and they don't have to worry about getting there at a certain time. No. So, hopefully, I will see you at YarnCon this weekend. Not riding a motorcycle. If you're within driving distance, but, you know, if you're going to Zombie Apocalypse or Super Summer Knit Together with the Knit Girls, or if you are going to Stitches Midwest, you can see us there as well. Callie probably won't be at Stitches, but
no, because we have a fair.
Yeah, it's a busy work week for her. Yeah. But anyway, if you have any questions, you can contact either one of us on Ravelry. I'm Dramatic Knits.
And I'm Calsters.
You can follow us on Instagram. I'm Leading Men Fiber Arts.
And I'm Calsters88.
And join the Facebook group for Leading Men Fiber Arts or the Ravelry group. You can also join the Ravelry group for this show that you're watching right now, Dramatic Knits video podcast group. And Dramatic Knits is one word because I thought that's how I wanted it at the beginning, and now I don't do it that way. But y'all seem to find the group, so if you haven't joined, come on over, join. It's fun. So anyway, until 2 weeks time from now, we will have a YarnCon recap and show you all the knitting we've got done in 2 weeks.
We hope you
knit something dramatic.